Welcome to the city of the unwritten. A city that's given so much, a city of people who aren't afraid to get their hands dirty. A city of makers, entrepreneurs, musicians, artists. A city of laughter, memories, and people who will welcome others in with a cup of heartwarming handmade coffee. A city of people, young and old, working together. People who explore, live, and grow together. But what makes this place special? Being listed year after year as one of the best places to raise a family. Maybe because we have a community recognized for its safe neighborhoods and revered for its low unemployment. A city where adventure is everywhere you look, where you can pioneer your own story. We've opened a new page to write on for the generations ahead. Welcome to Bismarck. Come write your story.
Woohoo! Yeah, I never get tired of those videos. Sometimes I just sit back in the office and watch them all. My name is Janya Anderson. I'm with Gizmonics, and I am your MC for today. Welcome, 1 Million Cups community. Good to see you in person and streaming. A couple of very important things to start off our day. First of all, today is National Nude Day, if you all didn't know that. And so our presenters will be celebrating, oh, no, okay, sorry. However, our tech team is fully celebrating. Way to go, guys. Good job. And it's also National Tape Measure Day. Just ponder that, those 2 days for a moment, and then we'll just move on. Okay. Thank you, Marlo, for putting those two together. That's a beautiful thing. Okay. All right. So, moving right along. Okay. So every Wednesday, if you're here, we talk about getting checked in on this app. Here is, and a lot of you just roll your eyes and look at us, okay? But here's the reason you want to get checked in on this app. It has a really cool feature. When you check in, which I always do, hold on. See, I'm checked in. There I am. I'm checked in. There is this button called Who's Here in blue, and when you click on that, you can spy on everybody else who is checked in for this 1 million cups. So no, we always say you do this for the Kauffman Foundation so they know who's here. No, you do this for you so you know who's here. So it's very cool. I highly recommend it. Okay. Oh, wait, let me see. Who's here? Evan, good job. Bill, thank you for checking in. Brian, look at you. And Kayla, present. Yeah, yeah, this is like, I'm the substitute teacher. Good job. No, how do you pronounce that? Oh, okay. Anyway, if you want to spy on who's here, I highly recommend you download the app. It's actually way fun. Okay, all right. That was my sales pitch. All right, and then, as usual, we've got our wonderful and fabulous sponsors, many of who are here. If they're wearing their logo really big on their shirt, like Marlo, go up, give them a big hug, say, hey, thank you so much for sponsoring 1 Million Cups. Or I think Evan's sporting the logo today. Let anyone else have their logo wear on. But these folks really help us out a ton and support 1 Million Cups, and we like to share the love back to them. Let's see, we've got, do I have any first-timers today? One. Sarah, stand up. And so when it's someone's first time, we ask for about a half an hour of, I'm kidding. No, she was actually going to stand up. You're so sweet. No, Sarah's joining us today. So Sarah, this is for you. 1 Million Cups. We're here every Wednesday morning. We have a lot of fun. We give one or a couple of entrepreneurs a chance to come up on stage to share their story with us. And in turn, we ask them maybe some hard questions to help them think about their business or offer suggestions, or we just network, drink a bunch of coffee. I heard Kayla say today that you drink coffee until you get so jittery that you become invisible. I thought that was a wonderful description. So anyway, no, I think the 1 Million Cups is meant to be spread across numerous people, but she's taken it on all by herself, which I think is very admirable. All right. But at the end of the day, the question that we're trying to answer, or the big takeaway, is can we change the face of our startup community over 1 million cups of coffee? So it's really entrepreneurs and the business community lifting up other entrepreneurs, and it's a really beautiful thing. And we do this every week. All right. Now, the rest of us know the rigmarole, but if you're new streaming, or Sarah, after our fabulous presenters are going to share their story, we're going to have a chance to ask them those questions, and we'll be taking the seats up here. If you are a little bit shy, you can ask your question on the live. So if you're streaming, you can ask it on the live. You can also tweet your question to #1MCND, and we have Sarah monitoring social media, and she will be happy to ask your question for you. Otherwise, if you're in the studio audience, we have this mega mug, 1 million cups mug, with a microphone embedded in it, and we will run it. Evan was going to run it around to you, and you can ask your question out of a big mug. It's really cool. And if you've never asked a question since we started this mug, I'd ask it just to get to hold the mug. It's really cool. Adam 3D printed it using a 3D printing material called TPU that's a little squishy, and you'll just want to fondle it for a while. All right. Okay, community announcements. So, Kayla, do you have, yeah, look at you. Yeah, so far.
Okay. I'm back to bother you about the roller skates. So the Bismarck Bombshells, in partnership with Parks and Rec, came together and we got all of these roller skates for public use. So every Tuesday and Thursday through June and July, you've been able to go rent some of those, go in a circle. But our second roller rink night is next Thursday. Our first one was really a big hit. We rented all 55 skates, and then we actually had 80 rentals total, so people were leaving and more people were coming in. So you want to get there early if you want to get your size. I will hold your hand, but if I go down, you're going down with me. And then it's just a whole chain reaction. But so that's next Thursday, 6:30 to 8:30 for, we got Limbo, we got Four Corners, we got all the hits. Come join us. Okay, I have another one. Oh, yeah, you got it now. All right. So the North Dakota Council on the Arts has just released their American Rescue Plan ARP fund. So if you are an artist, either a nonprofit or an individual, these funds are to help you with your creative practice. So I'm actually the one helping facilitate this. So if you have any questions, let me know. But this is kind of a cool special grant opportunity. If you're an individual and you have a new project, you want to do a workshop, you want to get out in the community, you can get up to $8,000 to do that. And if you're a nonprofit, we're funding your continuing programs up to $20,000. And so these are for projects from, the timeline starts back in June through January. So you got a big timeline to use these funds. Our first deadline is August 16th. If you need some time to think about it, you can go to our second deadline, October 15th. So there's the website. It'll give you all the information, or if you have questions, you can ask me. Please tell all of your artist friends. This is very important that we keep our arts going throughout North Dakota, and it's a pretty cool opportunity. So thank you.
Woohoo! Very cool. All right. No other community announcements? Okay, I'm really excited to hear that the skating has been really popular. I don't know, we gotta go. Okay, well then, I think we're through all of our housekeeping, and I am very, very excited to have our presenters today. They do something I think is incredibly cute. Sorry, it's cute, and it's beautiful. And it involves alcoholic beverages. And I just think that's the trifecta of happiness. So I'd like to welcome to the stage, so Cassity Hartman and Krysten Faehnrich. How did I do?
Better.
Did I do okay? Better. Okay, please help me welcome them.
Can I have the clicker?
Oh gosh, yes.
Thank you. Perfect. All right. Hello, everyone. I think our mics are on.
Yep.
Okay, great. Now let me make sure I can work the clicker. And I can. So we're here to talk about our new business today. We're bringing this to North Dakota, and it is called Bubbles and Brews North Dakota. We actually just named our little bar, which you see here. This is exactly what it looks like, and her name is Pearl, and we're really excited to bring her out to the community. So to start, just a little bit about our company. We are part of franchise isn't the right word, but more of a Get Cozy family is what we call it. So Get Cozy was established in 2015, I think it says. Yep, 15. They're down in Virginia, and they started this, and they actually have locations all across the country, mostly in the south and eastern side of the states. And so when we were really thinking about bringing something to North Dakota, we wanted to do something in the event industry. I stumbled upon them and saw how many awesome events they had hosted, how many great reviews they had. So I reached out to John and Rachel, which are the owners of Get Cozy, and talked to them about bringing this to North Dakota. And that is how Bubbles and Brews North Dakota came about. Here is all the locations that Get Cozy is currently in, with the exact same bars. They're all branded the same. And you can see there's a big gap up by North Dakota that they hadn't really experienced yet. So I thought, why not? Some of the places that we've been featured, or Get Cozy has been featured, is in E! News, People Magazine, Martha Stewart Weddings, The Knot, and a few others. They've hosted some really great events for celebrities and things like that too. And although it's a really big national brand right now, we're still a small local business here. We own 100% of our company, and we're just excited to bring this and share the fun. A little bit about us. My name again is Cassity Hartman. Our picture on the bottom didn't show. That was of us snowboarding. We're really good.
Not really.
Yeah. But Krysten and I met last year. We both had our weddings last year. I got married actually this coming up July 18th is my first anniversary, and then she got married following in August. Yep. And we actually ended up living on the same cul-de-sac, didn't know each other before, and took our dogs for a walk one day and met each other and became friends and decided to do this exciting journey together. And Krysten, if you want to tell a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So I'm originally from New Salem, North Dakota, which is about 30 miles west. That's where Country Fest just was. I grew up on a large farm and loved it. I moved to Bismarck when I went to college, and that's actually when I met my husband as well. And now we've lived in Mandan for the past 4 years. And just a little bit about me, I like to travel and be outside. I like to bake, and as we both do, we like to host events. So.
Yes. Yeah, and then I'm originally from Mobridge, South Dakota, and so we both come from a small town, both live here in Mandan now and have for a few years, and so we're really passionate about the community and serving North Dakota for years to come. All right, and now we'll tell you a little bit about, I'm going to click through these. A little bit about why we thought this was a good idea to bring it. So the idea behind it is experience economy. So giving people, we found that people are wanting to spend more money on experiences rather than goods, especially in the millennial and Gen Z or Gen X generations. And so with that, this is a really great option because it brings a memorable, unique aspect to events that not necessarily had before, especially in small towns like we're from. You get together at the community center and nothing new from wedding to wedding sometimes. And so this is a way to bring it to those smaller locations. And as we said, we're very mobile and just have that memorable event behind it. Some experience economy examples are glamping is one that's recently been popping up, or setting up really fancy picnics and having those memorable things. Another one, this is actually a bar in Wisconsin called Cleo's, and they decorate the entire bar as if it's Christmas year-round, and you never forget the bar because it's always Christmas and you can go there whenever. So with that, I'll turn it over to Krysten to talk a little bit about what our experience is.
So our little Piaggios, they're pop-up bars, and they really embody like old world charm. So ours is going to be a 1983 Piaggio, and it's on its way to Virginia right now from Italy, and it's refurbished. The 7 taps are put in, the custom panels and everything. But it's kind of cool. In Italy, they actually drive them around as common day vehicles. They're mail trucks. They deliver goods. So it's just got that old world charm. As I said, there's 7 taps, so you can serve something out of all 7. You can get a package that just serves out of 4. You can serve beer, wine, craft cocktails. Really, the possibilities are endless. What's also cool is that you can get alcohol free. things like mocktails or frescas, so events like, say, prom or graduations, younger birthdays, it can really be tailored to any event. It's small enough to fit inside a set of standard double doors, which also makes it unique because a lot of these mobile bars that you see popping up around the area, they're old trailers or something that have been refurbished, which means they can't move inside. They're kind of stuck in one place and they're stationary. So ours, as it says, a lot of people ask is, can we just drive it on the streets? You will not see us driving down the highway.
Yeah.
And we will not drive around neighborhoods serving alcohol like an ice cream truck.
Exactly.
But,
Yep.
I know, it's kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
But we serve, we don't sell, and that's what allows us to be so mobile.
Yep, so the alcohol is always provided by the client. As Krysten said, the 7 taps, they can have a different thing in each one of the taps, so you can serve up to 7 different drinks, all personalized to what you and your guests would like. And then also we have a free standalone bar as well that offers non-alcoholic beverages, such as water, coffee, other things that you might want, lemonade, tea. So it's really a great experience altogether.
And then you can see the panels
yeah.
that pop up as well. Those are actually personalized. So these are just the standard ones that come with it.
Yep.
But say you're hosting a birthday party, you can put happy birthday so-and-so on it. You can really customize it to whatever event you have.
Exactly. And then here we'll give you a few examples
Yes,
of
and,
events.
I'll just kind of fly through some of these. You can find us at really any event, indoor, outdoor. Like I said, it can move inside, so that's the cool thing about it. But weddings, corporate events, grand openings, showers, whether that's a baby shower and you have mocktails or a bridal shower, bachelor parties, birthdays, graduations, open houses, holiday events and gatherings, golf outings, and that we actually would drive along the path, which
Yes.
is kind of cool. Vendor and trade shows, we just registered for the Bismarck bridal show, so
Yep.
that'll be our first trade show that we do. And even backyard parties. We actually just booked one of those and
Yep.
we're pretty excited about it.
Yes, it's a pretty elaborate grad
Yes.
party that we're really excited to be at. But
Yes. And these will kind of just whip through too, just a few examples of events that have been done. This was actually a trade show, and none of these are our personal events. Like we said, there's locations all around the country, so we don't have our bar yet, but just a few examples of what other people have done. This one was a trade show where the bar actually teamed up with a local wine brewery, or a brewery, and just to show that like we work really well with others. We're not competing for people's business. We're looking to team up with local businesses. Say like Black Leg, they have a beer they want to put on tap and do a taste testing. We'll team up with them. So this particular event, they had the truck, 3 servers, and custom signage. They served 4 batch cocktails showcasing the specialty cocktails and bubbles that that winery had. And this one was a really large-scale event. So with 7 taps, really, you can serve endless
up to
people.
like 200 people in about 20 minutes.
Yes.
So
This one was a San Francisco wedding at a golf course. This event, or this option, is only with approved vendors, but they actually just rented the truck and their staff served. So we'll kind of work through that with some local vendors too, getting it where if they know how to operate the truck, that will be an option. This one had wine and beer, and they also poured some off the back. It was 150 plus people.
Oh, and it was
And-
also
yep.
featured, yes, in a wedding blog.
This particular one was a grand opening for a Wish store, which is a baby and child store.
Oop.
And, oh, you're good. Since it was a mom-to-be event, they served mocktails, which again is something unique. You don't have to have alcohol if that's not something you're into. And this one, they actually had the bar just as an attraction to help bring people in because it is something new and something people want to see. This one, like I said earlier, the custom panels, you can see on this one, they have Happy Birthday, Stephen. So again, customizable to any event. This one was at a private home, and this one was actually featured in Mingle magazine.
Yep.
And lastly, something like this is something we'd hope to do with the Larks maybe one day. It was at the AT&T Park at the Giant Stadium. They had the truck and 2 servers. It was a really kid-focused event. It was the Holiday Heroes, so they served Italian sodas, a large-scale nonprofit event, and like I said, hopefully one day we can do something like this with the Larks and be involved in the community.
Yeah, and a couple things that make us unique is, yes, we do craft cocktails. And what that means is that you as the client would provide the alcohol, so purchase it from wherever you'd like to, and then we take care of all the mixes that come in, that would go into it, and we mix that ourselves, put them into the kegs, and they're actually served on tap as well. So it's a really fun thing. And here's just a few of the cocktails that we have that are options. Really, I mean, anything from a cold brew, spiked cold brew, to your
Might have to do
traditional,
that here, actually.
yeah, to a traditional like Moscow Mule, Old Fashioned. You can do his and her drinks, that sort of thing. It's really exciting and fun to be able to serve those in a different way. And then another thing that's unique about us is we actually have a drink calculator tool. So I really wish I had this for my wedding, because when we were planning how much alcohol we'd need, I just, I had half of the family that is over the top drinkers, and then half the family who doesn't drink at all. And you want to make sure you get enough to satisfy this side, and then, this side has other options. And so with our drink calculator tool, we actually work with clients and we say, okay, how many people are going to be at your event? And we work to understand the drinking tendencies of those guests. So we work through that, and it actually goes out, I won't get into all the details here, but it auto-populates into these spreads then for how much alcohol it's estimated that you'll need, whether you're on the higher end or the lower end, and then it actually calculates it out so that we can help share that cost with the client on what to expect for purchasing their alcohol. We don't want to have extra leftover drinks, and I'm sure a client wouldn't either, so we try to get that as close as we can. And if they say, let's have some extra just in case, we can do that too. But then we break it all out, and we put it into our signature cocktail recipes by ounce and have that all calculated very well, so you don't have a ton of stiff drinks or people saying there was no alcohol in that. We want to make them a really, really good tasting and fun drink to have. Another thing that we've been so excited about is all the community support we've already received. We've been featured on KX News, KFYR, Valley News Live, shared our article, and then here, of course, we've actually just had an article go out in the forum in Fargo, and all of these people have reached out to us wanting to hear more about what we do, and it just makes us so excited to know that people are excited about it, and we can't wait to expand this list and add more people and really get a great base of helping other local businesses out in the community. And then, as Krysten said earlier, we are going to be at the bridal show on October 17th here coming up as well, where we will have our actual bar there. I'm clicking and it's not moving. There we go.
There you go.
All right. Then this brings us to a few challenges that we've.
Clicking too much.
I don't know if I'm clicking the same time as he is.
Oh.
Can you make the words go up on this one? We'll see. But some of the challenges that we've faced up to this point are, of course, with COVID-19. I'm sure all of you have experienced what those effects are like in different ways for your businesses, but some of the things like shipping is one thing that was holding us up a little bit. We had a little delay on our bar getting here to the US, and then also the parts are so unique and specific that they're just not coming in as quickly as we would like them to. We'd like to start serving right away, but we just aren't quite there yet, and so we're being patient and conservative with the bookings that we're taking to make sure we don't book anyone too early and have something get delayed with our bar. So that's why we are starting to take our bookings as of October, because we're confident we'll have it by then, hopefully even sooner. Another thing we're looking for in the market for is a 7x14 or 7x16 trailer, and those prices have pretty much doubled. And there are also a lot of places aren't even taking custom orders right now because they have no idea when they'll be able to get the parts in and be able to sell the trailer as well. So if anyone has a trailer or knows someone with a trailer, call us. And then, like we said, just with inflation, the cost of prices are going up, so then that always reflects on what we charge as well, even if it comes to just the mocktail side of things or the mixes for drinks, those kind of things. Just seems like everything is more expensive than it used to be, so we're just being smart and covering our costs and doing things as best we can to relay that in the community. Also, just with growing a small business, like we said, we own 100% of our business, and we have say on what we charge. We have say on where we market, what we do. So right now, we're really focusing on the partnerships rather than marketing and spending a ton of dollars on marketing, just because it is Krysten and I funding this thing.
Yes.
And so we're being very selective and trying to make the right decisions for doing events like this, working with other local businesses so that we can maybe have a win-win situation, get traffic for them and traffic for us. And so those are some of the things we're trying to work towards today. And then, of course, time will also be an issue. We've had a lot of people already reach out to us wanting to book our bar, and it is just the two of us currently operating it. So we
One
will,
bar, so
yes.
we can't be in two places at one time.
Exactly. So when the bar is booked for a day, it's booked, and that day, no one else can have it that day. And it's just us two as employees, and so, and we do work, also we have full-time jobs currently, and so we have to kind of manage our time right so that we can balance everything.
Yes.
And then, let's see here.
So goals for the next 5 years. Really, we just want to start off by growing in North Dakota alone, getting into some of the bigger towns like Fargo and out to Medora maybe even, just growing in the North Dakota market. But eventually what our goal is to add more bars and maybe station them around different places in North Dakota, a little closer to bordering states, because in the next 5 years, we'd also like to get into Montana, South Dakota, Minnesota, and expand our markets there as well. So with that, we'd obviously have to hire more staff. Just the two of us can't go everywhere. So that is the goals for the upcoming years.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, there's a big gap around North Dakota right now. And with our agreement we have with Get Cozy, we do have first right at refusal for any of those markets. So we would love to start opening different locations and having a manager stationed in that area, and really just increasing our footprint across the states. Down here, this caravan picture right here is actually another one of the bar options that Get Cozy offers, that they renovate and do the same thing for us as they're doing with the Piaggio. And so that's an exciting one that we'd like to offer someday too, but not yet. We're focusing on Pearl for now. And here we go. And yeah, so now we'd just like to really open it up to questions. I did put a few questions up here that are some frequently asked questions that we get. And so if you want to steal one from there, you can. If you have your own, go ahead. I won't walk through and answer all of these right now. I want to know what you want to hear. Yeah.
All right, that was fantastic. Now I am going to steal the evil clicker. I'm sure you're happy to get rid of that. Okay, so Evan is our mic runner, and he's already started running. So this is a good sign. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, heck, I'm going to set my questions aside. Hannah.
I love this idea. Can you talk about your pricing and packages and what you charge?
Sure, absolutely. If
if
you want to go to that
Oh.
slide, we put this at the end because we figured someone would have this, but we moved it way to the end.
Oh, like way.
Yeah. So if
There you go.
Guys, you're in charge then.
yeah,
I got it under control.
So we do have 4 different packages. However, we can create custom packages per event. We recognize that all events are usually different, so we try to make it as customizable as we can. Prices range between $1,000 and $3,500. You can go from very basic to all the bells and whistles, as you see on our 4th package here. With the bells and whistles package, we actually offer a whole flower arrangement, which can be up to like $700 if you want to really decorate and deck out the Piaggio. It could be a balloon arrangement. And with every event, any package, we do add on decor and stuff for your colors of the event, just to make it pretty. We always want to be photo ready with our bar. So that's in any standard package, but if you want to go all out, we do have those options. And then, so the lower packages starts around with the social package there, 3 hours, 1 server, up to 4 taps, and then it just depends what all you want to put on tap. If you would like to do a craft cocktail with the lower option, that's still possible. We just need to make sure we work in those costs as well. But yeah, there's tons of options, and we don't want to say like a hard price just because every event is so different. Does that answer your question? Great.
Awesome, and it looks like we have another question. Kayla?
This has to do with balloons. So in a previous life, I was a balloon bouquet girl at Party City.
Good
so
to know.
Awesome.
But that was some serious balloonage on some of those
Yes.
Yes,
pictures.
it
Did
is.
you guys
We
do
can-
it yourself? Like there's a paddle balloon, like those big ones, and those are kind of scary.
Yes, so I personally have not worked with balloons. So,
That is
so
something we'd hire out.
yes, so we would, and that's the same thing. Like we would go to a florist for a big flower arrangement, as we'd go to someone who does the big balloon arrangements as well, locally, or if a customer has someone they want to work with for that, we would work with them. And so it's really up to the client.
Okay, second question. On
Yeah.
some of those pictures, they had fancy glasses. I love throwing
Yes.
a party, but I hate doing dishes.
Yes.
Would
Yep.
you guys have to wash the glasses?
So we actually, with each event, we provide disposable cups, and they're actually the pretty version of disposable cups. So they're plastic, champagne
throw 'em.
flutes. Yep. And then, yes, and there is a glassware option. Say maybe you're having a 20 to 50 person event.
Right.
We can do our glasses. We have some that we're going to get branded and use. But if someone has some ware or some dishware that they want to use, then they can definitely do that as well if they want like fancy glasses. But then it would be their responsibility to clean them afterwards.
You're definitely not going to sign up for that option.
Yeah.
I can tell.
And I wouldn't
Yeah.
recommend that option for a larger scale event.
No,
'Cause that is
no.
a lot of glasses
Yes,
to
but
go
yeah,
through.
but
for a
something-
smaller event, most definitely you
Exactly.
can.
Fantastic. It looks like we have a question from social media.
Kirsten on social media asks, what type of liability insurance is required of you and of the host?
Great.
Sure. So we, as a company, we don't carry the liquor license because, again, we don't sell it, we just serve it. So as a company, we have the liquor liability insurance and just the general liability insurance. As the host, you can get extra insurance on top of ours, but it's not required. And something also that like some people have looked into is if you're hosting a large enough event, being the host is buying the alcohol, if it's going to serve enough people, it's worth looking into to get a one-day special liquor license. Just because then you can buy from a distributor versus a retailer, and that's going to be cheaper on your end.
Yep, you can save almost half the cost
Yes.
on liquor from buying directly from a distributor. And those one-day license range between like $50 to $100,
Yep.
just depending on where it is and how many people, that kind of thing. And we help through that process for getting people signed up for that if they wish. We always recommend it. I mean, you can never have too much insurance, I feel like,
Yep.
especially when you're putting alcohol in the hands of other people. So, so it's definitely something that's up to the client.
Fantastic. Well, now I get to ask my question.
Yeah.
So I think, a lot of times we'll have folks on stage who have started with a concept. They've had to come up with the whole thing and do all of that. You're a bit unique in that you have this relationship with Get Cozy.
Yep.
Correct.
Could you talk, and you've mentioned a few things in your presentation, like you 100% own it,
Yep.
but they're building out Pearl. So if you could talk about, and you said it's franchise, but franchise not really. If you
Yeah.
could just describe the kind of the business relationship that you have with Get Cozy.
Yep, exactly. So we have an operating agreement with them where we get to use all of the materials that they've developed up to this point. However, we get to brand however we'd like to up here. So we stay consistent with colors and everything just because they've done a really great job on branding. And so we actually just got started that much further ahead of the game because of that, because we have all their materials. And I say it's not a franchise because it's not, because we do keep 100% of our projects, our revenue,
Yes.
which is great, which was really the stellar to me, is that we wanted to own a business and not have to give away the farm to someone down in Virginia.
Yep.
And they're people that really wanted to see this go nationwide, and that's how they're able to do it. We work with them on the front end of getting on board with the marketing, having them renovate our bar. We pay for those costs, of course, and then it comes up here, and it's really on us to succeed.
Yes.
So.
And
Yeah.
like Cass said, calling it a family, we're actually, so like on Slack, we have a whole group chat
Yeah.
with all of the locations around the country that we're able to communicate with, and like a family can ask questions
Yep.
and help each other out. So it's not just us and the owners of Get Cozy. We really
Yep.
work with everyone.
Yeah, that's a great point. And
Yep.
and if a client has an issue or something special that they'd like to do, we have a ton of people we can reach
Yep.
out to figure out how to do that and how to make it happen.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yes, it has been fun.
Yeah.
And we have another question from the studio audience. Bill.
All right, so with these kegs, I mean, to pressurize them, are you guys running like CO tanks and everything, or how are you pressurizing mixed drinks? Because pop can be
Sure.
Yep.
Pretty
So that's a more technical question. We actually need to go down to Virginia when our bar arrives, and we're going to do a whole week of training on the bar and the system and how it works. But really, we're getting the kegs, and they're smaller kegs, so they're like a fourth of what you'd like. It's not like we're putting the huge kegs that you buy to do keg stands with into this bar. They're a lot smaller, and so again, I'm not 100% positive on how that works. I do know that with the craft cocktails, to keep it mixed, there's a little bead. It's about this big, and it actually spins around in there. And I think they use it in distilleries and things like that too, to keep things mixed and keep it, a good drink and a drinkable drink, so that it doesn't separate out. And that's like a $500 little bead. And so I know that's part of the technical things we'll learn, but I don't have a full answer on how it's all pressurized. But I haven't heard anything about what did you say, CO tanks, C2 tanks? Yeah, I haven't heard about anything. We'll have to deal with that. Yeah.
We'll learn a lot when we go down there and
yeah.
learn how to do everything.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
maybe we'll come back to your question a different
Yes.
time.
Yes.
I love the super techie question.
Yeah, no kidding.
I expect that out of Evan. I didn't see that one coming from you. That's really awesome. Good job.
Just hadn't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, you hadn't gotten to it yet. Do you have one or?
I do.
Okay, because I have them.
Unless yours is really
Go ahead.
burning.
No,
Okay.
no, you got it.
One, just to comment, I think, when you look at where else these things are located, typically warmer states. So I think you were really smart to get a vehicle that will fit inside buildings. So I think
Yes.
it's going to really help you on the year-round piece. And I guess the question, do you guys provide non-alcoholic ingredients and some of those kinds of things if that's the wish of the client?
Yes.
Exactly. So that's included in any of the packages. So like if you're doing a craft cocktail, that is included in that price. The only thing the client needs to provide is the alcohol, and then we take care of all the mixes. And then with the higher packages, or actually to any package, you can add it on to have a freestanding bar to the side with non-alcoholic options. And then we would provide all of that, whether it's you want a fancy like strawberry water or something you want to serve, tea, lemonade, all of that we would take care of. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, now this is a technical, but on the business side.
Okay.
So to me, it was kind of unique that two people who have known each other for less than a year have launched a business together.
Yes.
It is.
So if you could tell us a little bit about, don't need any dirt or anything, but just a little bit about like business structure, and then what strengths you each bring to this, and how have you kind of divvied up the roles and all of that?
So what I'll say about Cass is Cass could sell ice to an Eskimo. She is a saleswoman.
Yeah.
She's very good at talking, as you can probably tell.
Yeah.
So Cass has been handling a lot of our leads and getting into that aspect of it. And then once we get more into the actual planning of the party and the drink calculator, helping figure out what each person needs for their specific event is where I'll more so take over. But yeah, like you said, we've known each other for just about a year.
Our year anniversary is coming up of being friends. So.
But as you can imagine, moving in and being neighbors, we probably spend about 3 nights a week at each other's houses, and probably even more now.
Yes, and I'll say great things about Krysten too. She's just a very personable person. When I first met her, there were so many similarities between the two of us, and I had been wanting to start this for a while, but I knew I couldn't do it by myself. A little bit more background about me is I work for Consolidated Construction, and I'm the business development director there, and so I knew there's no way I could run a business all on my own. So I do have the sales and marketing background and just that kind of business aspect, and I needed someone with me who could help bring the vision alive. And we just were a great fit. Our husbands are almost the same person as well. It's really
scary.
Strange. Yeah, like our dads have the same birthday. Like just so many odd similarities that it was crazy how it all worked out and how it's just fit so well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, I have to say, they sent me the slide presentation ahead of time, and I was looking, and so when I met them today, I'm like, are you sisters? And they said, no, we get that a lot, but it comes across even on the stage, so that's fantastic. And are you an LLC, or how is your business? Okay.
Yep, so our LLC name is Get Cozy of North Dakota LLC, but we'll go by Bubbles and Brews North Dakota because we think that's a more fun name.
Awesome. It looks like we have another question. Hey.
Hi. Thanks for presenting, ladies. I just had a question on, you both work full-time. How are you going to make that work with schedules? I mean, obviously, we're in North Dakota. When winter hits, we like to do stuff during the week.
Yes.
even during the summer. So how are you guys gonna work around that as far as?
Yeah, absolutely. And so with two of us, we do have more time available. My job is really flexible, and I mean, I say I work the night shift, but then they don't take me off the day shift, so I just kind of work whenever, wherever, and so it's just flexible in the sense that I work out my meetings and what I need to do and what I need to accomplish in my job first, and then I use my spare time for this. And I don't have any kids right now, neither does Krysten, and so this is where, when we're starting it up, this is really our baby right now,
Yes.
And making it a focus and a priority. The other great thing with events is that a lot of times they're in the evenings, they're on the weekends, and so we can work with clients, phone calls, really whenever it works for them. We can take phone calls and that kind of thing, but then for the events, it's not during either of our office hours. And I know the goal long-term would,
Yeah. And if it does fall during the day, I mean, between the two of us, we can work it out. We're like,
Yep.
yes, we work our 40 hours or so during
Yes.
the week, but it's we both have flexible enough jobs where we can make up hours afterwards if we need to.
Exactly. Yep. So yeah, we're committed to it. So.
Yes.
Great question, because I think a lot of people in our audience are
Yeah.
always trying to figure that out, right? As an
Yes.
entrepreneur,
Right
if
now,
I
it's very
haven't,
busy. But
yeah, if I
Not
haven't
gonna
made
lie.
that leap from the
Yes.
security of the regular job, right?
Exactly, and not gonna lie, it is a lot of hours. It is a lot of work, and
Yep.
Especially up front and getting it going. And that's where our hope is. Like for events, we are able to hire someone to actually run the events. We take care of everything on the business side and the sales side, and then have someone there to run the events and keep any tips they get, that sort of thing. So that's the goal, to hopefully add someone on soon.
Fantastic. Evan, I think you have another question.
Yeah, I was curious about maybe each of your previous entrepreneurial experience.
Yeah.
Have you start with a lemonade stand when you were what have you done in that area?
Go ahead.
I still do photography, but not as much anymore. This is kind of my new baby, but from the time I was in high school, I owned my own photography business, and really just up until this last year was full swing in it. But like I said, this has kind of been my new baby, so I haven't been doing much of it, but that's a large part of my background. And then my husband actually owns his own business too, and so I help him with a lot of that. But making him go out a little bit more on his own as we're starting this.
Yeah. And then I previously was a real estate agent, so I still have my real estate license. I'm just referral only. So I've done that. And then also when I was 16, I started my own cattle herd as well. My dad is a rancher, and so I started developing my herd at a very young age, and really been operating that ever since. And the cattle market is crazy, so that's always a fun thing to deal with year after year. And we still have our family ranch, and I still do some of that. But I've just always had a knack and really wanted to do something on my own that there's a fly, on my own that I own, and gosh, it won't leave me alone. There you go.
To me.
Yeah, but yeah, so we both have experience in running things on our own, and we have a great support system as well for giving us tips along the way.
I guess I suspected that.
Yeah.
Just you guys don't have kind of the typical deer in the headlights, that a lot of new,
Sure.
brand new entrepreneurs have.
Sure.
So that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
So given that the background and the experiences that you've had in the past, what's been different about this, and has there been anything that has surprised you?
Sure. Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
I think just taking everything in, it is so nice, like I said, that we have all these things kind of started for us to build off of with Get Cozy, but then at the same time, it's taking it and making it specific to North Dakota, figuring out what our target market will be, and where we should spend our time and resources chasing after things. And so that's always a learning experience, and because there's hundreds of people we could reach out to right now and tell about, but it's just finding that niche. And so I think that's going to be probably the most challenging part of using time wisely.
It's definitely more of a marketing game than either of our last entrepreneurial businesses were, or even our current jobs. So that is a learning curve.
Yeah, and a completely different industry, really, for both of you.
Yes.
Yep.
Although
Well,
it can
really for anyone. I mean, this in North Dakota is just kind of a new concept. So
yes, finding
kind
an insurance provider was a fun time. That was a bit of a challenge, just because people are scared to insure it because they don't know what it is, and and they haven't seen it before. But again, that was where Get Cozy came in so handy, because they have an insurance agent that speaks the lingo of other agents, and they were able to help work that and find us the right provider and the right coverage.
Yeah, I could see that. It's like, let's see, it has a bar. It's a bar with a motor and wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is where the we serve, don't sell comes in.
Comes in.
Exactly.
Perfect. Oh, I had a question and it left my head. Oh dear. Oh dear. It's not coming back either. No, it was really good. It was like my best one of the whole day. Just trust me. It was the most brilliant question. You had all just gone,
Sure.
Can't believe it.
Kayla's
Kayla's got one. Thank you. You're bailing me out. Yeah, dance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's kind of your target audience? Because I'm trying to think, if I told my dad about that, he's definitely not I'm in the aesthetic thing where I'm like, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas he's selling a bar now. So if you need help and you don't mind if a 65-year-old man with a mustache is serving people, but he's used to just like, you take the bottle cap off and hand people a beer at a wedding.
Yeah.
How do you sell this to someone if, maybe he's footing the bill for my sister's wedding? Like, how do you sell this to him?
Exactly. So we're a luxury item. We're not for everyone, and we know that. And our target isn't to be an item for everyone, because we wouldn't be able to do an event every single day of the year. And so with that, we're focusing a lot on new businesses, especially because for like grand openings, for just ways to get traffic in, especially after COVID. A lot of people are looking for something to bring the customers back in and get people out there again. Weddings are also another huge market that we've already seen a lot of interest from. That's probably where our most popular lead source is coming from, is people wanting to do weddings. And we're actually finding with a lot of venues, you can only have the alcohol on site. And so people can't bring it in, of course, and which actually works great for us, because we just go in and we serve it, and we're like an extension of the bar or an attachment of the bar, and just something else unique, especially when people are kind of scaling back on their wedding sizes, and maybe they have a few extra bucks to spend on that new thing or that attractive thing. But you're right, a 65-year-old man who sees it is just like, why do you need that?
They don't really care about cute.
No, they
like
don't.
I said, we're not going to fit everyone's aesthetic and goal for their vision. But I think with the different price packages we offer too, we do have the option of fitting into most people's budgets.
Yeah. Yep, it's a decision that people will make of what they want the event to feel like and look like, and that's where I think new businesses will really like it. We've had a couple inquiries from apartments wanting to do their grand openings or resident events, things like that. So whenever it's corporate dollars, it's easier for people to spend too, of course. But we already, like I said, we've booked a few events. We booked a grad party already out in May 2022, and she's doing a really awesome event with food trucks and a band and that sort of thing. So I know I was like, my grad party was in my garage. But
events are changing.
Yes, exactly.
They definitely are.
And that goes back to that experience economy trend. So.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kayla.
Yeah.
We have another question from the studio audience.
Very cool idea. Tell us more about the vehicle. How do they choose it? Is it electric vehicle? Do you drive it to events if you can? I know winter would be tough, but
sure.
That's what.
Like I said, you won't see us driving on the streets.
Yeah, it does.
It does drive. Yeah. So once we're actually on location, we trailered it to the venue. Once we're on location, we can drive it around. So say even they have their ceremony outside and they want to do a happy hour outside. Okay, great, we're set up out there, but then they want to move the reception inside. As long as it has that double doors, we can drive it right inside and still be a part of the whole event.
Yep.
So in that sense, that's what makes us so mobile and so great, is we're not just stationary once we're set up.
Yeah, and you don't have to hook up a vehicle to take it from place to place. So we drive it off the trailer and then maneuver around the site where we need to. And then also a little bit about the selection. It's called a Piaggio Ape, and they Get Cozy found this vehicle, and they just thought it's something that most of the U.S. hasn't seen or seen many of. And so there are those things that you can renovate, like the campers, which they do. But this is just something vintage, authentic, and just eye-catching that they wanted to bring over. And I think it's a really cool bar too, because no one sees it, and so it comes over and everyone's like, "What is that?" And they want to know more about it. And so I think that's a really great leg up that we have as well.
That's awesome, and I love that you named her.
Yes.
Pearl.
Yes.
So,
Well, we had the on Facebook we had 3 names to pick from, and we let our following and the public choose which name they like best, and that's what it ended up being. So.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And well, since she's your baby,
Yes.
she's got a lovely name.
Yes.
Marlo, you have a question.
Yeah, so I think this is a fantastic idea too. Are you thinking about like food truck festivals and things where you would actually serve like Italian sodas or old-fashioned root beer or whatever that you would charge like $3 a glass for, as opposed to renting out?
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. We've actually been reached out by, I believe his name was Michael, who runs the 701 food trucks events, and like a day or something after we announced this, he gave me a call
and wanted on Facebook.
Yeah,
you guys need to call me now.
and wanted us to do that. And so yes, as long as it is non-alcoholic beverages, we could definitely do that, and we would get the 1-day license through ABC to make sure we're following all the codes and stuff for serving food, beverage. And then we'd move forward with it and sell if we wanted. Maybe we just do them free. Maybe we do tastings. Another option at those food trucks is to partner with like a local brewery, say like Blackleg Ranch or Laughing Sun, and they want to do, maybe they want to sell out of it. Sales for alcohol wouldn't come through us, but if they wanted to do that, that's an option, or even just do taste testing.
I'm picturing a National Nude Day celebration. BYO tape measure.
I don't know how that looks for our brand.
I did actually remember my question. So just who would be you are a luxury item. When you go to, like, I'm thinking about your trade show that's coming up.
Okay.
Who would be your competition at that trade show in that space?
Sure. So I don't want to consider them competition, because I think anyone in North Dakota doing these local bars or mobile bars is great. And I don't know of a ton of people who are out there right now, but let's see. I know
there's 2 that we know of.
At my wedding, I actually had 3andMe, the pink trailer. I'm sure some people have seen that around. I had her come to my wedding and serve Italian sodas, and she does food. And so I don't necessarily consider her as much of competition, since hers is such a large trailer, and she actually does sell food and drinks and coffee and all that. But I'm sure she'll be there at the bridal show too. She usually is, and Rachel's great. And like I said, I've worked with her, and really our goal is to, whenever we can't do an event, maybe we can refer to someone else, and then vice versa for other people who are having a bar. So we don't want to knock on any other mobile bars out there, but yeah, we want to do what we can to get as many events and help other local businesses too.
Fantastic. Well, I think that's one of the things we learned. I don't know if you're familiar with Makewell, but that in those spaces, that kind of collaborative spirit and this cross-referring really serves everyone very well.
Exactly.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I think we have. Do you have a question, or do you want to ask the last question?
I was just it was kind of maybe a crystal ball question a little bit, but it sounds like you've already made some bookings. You've had a lot of great exposure already. So how are the bookings looking so far? Are you feeling really optimistic? And then also, how far in advance do you book?
Yeah, well, I actually just yesterday got a inquiry for 2023 in June. And so it's never too early. There's those people out there that are planners, and they're going to get everything done so they don't have to worry about it, and that's great.
I think just in this past week, I think we've had almost 20 inquiries just from the website. That's not even including our Facebook and Instagram. So we're very optimistic to answer your question.
And typical events, as we get rolling, people will book between 12 and 18 months ahead of time, especially right now when not everyone's wedding. We had our weddings last year, but a lot of people's weddings got pushed from last year, and now they're booking in 2021 and 2022. And I've heard recently from a lot of venues that they have 2 or 3 days left in 2022, and so they're already booking for 2023. And I think this this pushback has really affected the wedding industry. So we'll take events out as far as people want, but right now we currently have, I think our furthest one out is October 1st of 2022. So.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I think everyone's already going, I gotta give him a call. Which might lead nicely into our last question. We always ask the same last question. And Evan, if you do the honors.
Sure. So we always like to ask, what can we, as the Bismarck Mandan 1 Million Cups community, do to support Bubbles and Brews and make you guys fabulously successful?
Absolutely, and I'm going to ask if tech could go to our slide. It was one of the last ones with our Facebook and Instagram on there. But once they get, right here. One. So the biggest thing to support us right now is to like and follow our social media avenues and just to keep up with what we're doing. Local businesses, they really thrive off of free. And so, especially when they're small and starting off, and so it doesn't cost anything to share a post or to like a post, to follow, and just help us spread the word. So that's, and we've, like I said already, we've received such a great feedback already, and people doing that. We started off with inviting our friends, family, and people to the page, and now we just every day we have more followers, and it's just great to see that we don't know these people and they're interested in what we're doing. So I'd say that's a huge part of it. And then just referrals. We love referrals. We're willing to kick back a little bit to anyone who sends us a referral. And
we did bring some brochures too that we can hand out to anyone who's interested, and just spreading the word.
Yeah.
If you have a local business that you know might be interested, handing one to them or some of your friends. Yeah.
Exactly, but not a whole lot. Nothing monetary that we need or anything like that. Just to keep the hype going.
Yep.
Fantastic. Well, thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Yeah. You two, I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just really excited. Please join us. This is the lineup that's coming up next. Next week, we have Rise and Restore Women's Wellness Retreats. This is a concept idea, so this is someone who's a little bit earlier in her development, not as mature along the path as you two, but I'd ask you to come, give some support, maybe throw some ideas her way. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Followed by that, we've got a Career Builder Scholarship and Loan Repayment program that I think it's a nicely, maybe you've heard of this, I had never heard of it. If I had someone going to college, I'd want to know about this. So tune in, a pretty sweet thing. Also we've got, and I didn't get it on the slide because this is late breaking news, but I think John Bollinger is also going to be joining us on the stage that day to talk a little bit about his COVID pivot and what it's like to create 3 baseball teams out of 1. So that's going to be really fun as well. And then on August 4th, we have Lemonade Day, and if you remember, that's always a really fun one. We have one of the lemonade stand kids come up on the stage. Last year we had Abby. She was the winner of the taste competition. So and I have to tell you, the day after 1 Million Cups, because I got to MC that one last year, she gave me a sample, and it was awesome, right? He got to share in the sample. It was pretty awesome. And I think that's it, except for grab some brochures from these ladies, as well as the Apply to Present. So if you know somebody who you think should be on stage, or if you think you should get up here, I've got some little Apply to Present business cards out in the lobby by the coffee, and you can grab those, hand them out, or just for yourself so you can remember what webpage to go to. I think that's it. I think that's a wrap. And hopefully the tech team can stop celebrating National Nude Day, get the clothes on, and we'll be ready to go. Okay. Woohoo! See you next week.
Yeah.